In only 4 seasons of this Team Builder Dynasty, we have managed to make the college football playoffs. We finished this year 12-1, we won the CUSA in the last video, and now today we get to try to start our Cinderella run in the playoffs. Now our first opponent is the number 9 ranked Miami Hurricanes. We should have a home game for this one, but unfortunately we are going to be down a couple players here, and they were a couple massive players. Heading over to the injury report, we will be without wide receiver Lyle Shermer for at least one game, and then defensive end George Sambrailo, who led our team in sacks this year with 15, ends up winning the Best Defensive Player of the Year award and Best Defensive End. We will not have him for the entire playoff run. And as you can see on our defense, past him, it really kind of takes a massive fall. Emmett Wall is here with 6.5 sacks, Stephylan Green has 5, but we are definitely going to be missing George Sambrailo. While losing Lyle Shermer does absolutely suck, if we can win this game, we will get him back, but he has not been our main target this year, and we do have some other speed on this team. Right now, Shermer only has 5 touchdowns on the season, and Jabari Yabo has very clearly been our number 1. But now it is time to see if we can start a Cinderella playoff run as we jump into the first round against the Miami Hurricanes here in Edmond. And the very first scenario we get, it just said this is a big drive. It is still scoreless here in the middle of the first quarter. We're going to start with a handoff to Skylar Lewis, who will go up the middle, try to bounce it to the outside. He has a big gain here across the 50 and will finally get caught at about the 40-yard line of Miami. That was a fantastic start to this drive. Now a new set of downs. On a 1st and 10, we'll drop back and we'll take this underneath throw. No, we won't. We're going to see if we can fool them with a little bit of a read option. Mock will take the snap and gets to keep it himself, goes to the outside, no one blocks, and he's hit for no gain. Well, it was a great start to the drive. Hopefully we can keep this one going. 3rd and 10 from the 40. Drop back and a quick throw to the outside will be incomplete. Now, we found out in the last episode our kicker can make a 57-yard try. The wind is a little bit behind him, but it's a little more to the right as well. We're going to see if we can actually time this up. And I don't know if I did. The kick is going to be away, and it is off the bottom bar. No good. And now we have a big 3rd down that we need to get the stop on. It is still scoreless here in the first quarter. It's a 3rd and 5 for Miami. He's going to drop back to the pass, and he's going to lob this to the outside. That'll be caught for the 1st down, and we managed to bring him down to the 5. And it will allow me to just stay in for this drive now. 1st and goal. Back in a shotgun set again. And they are going to try to run the ball. He goes to the outside, but he's met and brought down. Only a 1-yard carry on that play. Now a 2nd and goal from the 4. He'll drop back and looks to pass. He finds his man, but he is hit and brought down inside the 1. They're going to come out from about the half-yard line in a shotgun set. Handoff to the back. We got in the backfield, but not in time, and a touchdown for Miami. It is still 7-0 as we get our next scenario. And they have a 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. Handoff to the back, and he is brought down for just a 1-yard gain. Now it's going to be a 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. He comes back in a shotgun set again. They go back to the back, but he goes to the outside this time and will fight his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami. They should go up 14-0. On the following drive, it will let me jump in on offense. Facing a 3rd and 5. He'll drop back to the pass and take this underneath throw. Caught by Boswell. He gets a good block inside the 5, and he will fight his way down to about the 1-yard line for Edmond State. And he ended up about as close to the end zone as you can get without actually scoring. Now on a 1st and goal, we'll give this to Skylar Lewis, but he's hit in the backfield. For 2nd and goal, we line up in a Wildcat set. Shaq Marcus is in at quarterback. We're going to send Swain in motion. It'll be a toss play out to him, and Jaden Swain to the edge will walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Edmond State. However, it would not give me another scenario until the 4th quarter, and I really don't even know the score right now, but I don't think it's going to be pretty. It is a 4th and 2 as we are down 28-7. At our own 44-yard line to try to keep this drive moving. We'll get that toss out, and Lewis will not pick up the 1st down. Miami will score off that drive. Now with just 4 minutes to go, we are down 35-7, and this is pretty much just garbage time. Now on a 4th and 1, can we just go ahead and stat pad here to end the season a bit? It'll be a toss to the outside, and now Boswell will cut upfield. He'll get all the way to the 35-yard line. It would then go back into simulation for a bit as we come out now at the 18-yard line with about 3 minutes to go in the game. We'll drop back to pass, and we're going to lob this to the end zone, and he will find his man. Touchdown to Jabari Yabo. And you know what? Screw it. We will try this. An onside kick here. And we're going to see if I can actually do this. The kick is away, and it is recovered by Miami. It bounced right to him. They would then kick a field goal, so this should be our final drive of the season with about a minute to go in the game. And Mock's just going to look to run and get brought down. You know what? Screw it. Send everybody deep, and hopefully someone will come open on this play. We are going to let this one rip downfield. It is going to be Jabari Yabo down there, and it will fall incomplete. Mock will take the snap, and we are going to go deep downfield to Yabo again, and we'll at least get to stat pad him a little bit as he goes down the sideline and into the end zone. Touchdown, Edmond State. You know what? Sure, we're going to try it again. I'm going to try a slightly different strategy this time. We're going to go way over here. I put way too much power behind that. And it's going to be flagged because we touched that way too early, and they recovered it anyway. Well, we somehow get the ball back with 4 seconds to go, so we can at least try to make this look like it was a one-score game and keep some of our dignity for this one, as we're just going to let this one go deep downfield. That's intended for Zamir Rowe, and it will fall incomplete. Unfortunately, we will not have a Cinderella run this year, but we were still an incredible team, finishing at 12-1. And because we only have this game in the episode, we will be doing the entire offseason in this episode as well. On the final stats for today, it really looks like Sydney Mock was just slinging the ball all over the field, or at least trying to. Ended with 40 pass attempts, but only completed 16 of them for 273 yards and 2 touchdowns. And unless I'm mistaken or I'm misremembering, I did not throw either of these 2 interceptions, so that was just in simulation. And then Shaq Marcus went 1 for 1, 2 yards and a touchdown because we did have that jet toss to get our first score of the game. Running the ball, Skylar Lewis got 51 yards on 10 carries. And then receiving, Andy Boswell actually stepped in pretty nicely for Lyle Shermer, 6 for 72. Jabari Yabo, 4 for 104 and 2 touchdowns. And Jaden Swain caught a touchdown, as we just talked about the jet toss that I ran to get our first points. Leading the team in tackles today is Calvin Casey, our starting safety. And in sacks, we got absolutely none, and that definitely shows that George Sambrelo was gone, and we got no interceptions. And now from here, you can see how the rest of the playoffs ended up playing out. Miami ended up going on to upset number 1 unbeaten Florida 27-24 before they got beat in the semifinal round. Your national championship will be between Nebraska and Ole Miss. And that game would go to Ole Miss by a final score of 35-21. But now we can finally go look at all of these stats and awards before we move on to the offseason. If you missed it in the last episode, DJ Lagway ends up taking on the Heisman Trophy. He did lead Florida to an undefeated season before they fell in the very first playoff game that they were in. Now on the rest of the awards list, the Player of the Year goes to the quarterback at Ole Miss in Zach Boyd. The Head Coach of the Year goes to the head coach at Ole Miss. We actually finished 7th on this list. The Best Quarterback Award goes to Zach Boyd at Ole Miss. The Best Defensive Player goes to George Sambrelo. Best Defensive Back goes to, oh my god, Ole Miss. Their entire secondary ended up in the top 4. That is ridiculous. Best Running Back goes to Elijah Davis, the running back at Louisiana. Best Receiver goes to another Ole Miss player. Yeah, apparently they were just really, really good. The Lombardi Award goes to Jeffrey Rush. George Sambrelo ends up 2nd in that, but Ole Miss takes home another award. The Golden Arm Award goes to Eli Holstein at Pittsburgh. The Best Defensive End goes to George Sambrelo. Best Interior Lineman goes to Clemson. Best Tight End goes to Ole Miss. The Broyles Award goes to Ole Miss. The Best Linebacker goes to Ole Miss. The Best Center goes to Ohio State. And the Lou Groza Award goes to the kicker at Auburn. The Best Punter goes to Iowa. And then the Best Returner goes to TCU. At the start of the season, I had to make a decision as to who was going to be our starting quarterback, Sydney Mock or Morgan Eberle. And it was a really, really tough decision, but I ended up going with Mock, obviously, and I feel like it was the correct decision. We ended up finishing the year 12-2, and his ability to run really opened up our offense. He finishes with 3,100 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions, but then running the ball, he finishes for another 450 yards and leads our team with another 8 touchdowns through the ground. Skylar Lewis ran for 595 and a touchdown. Shaq Marcus got a couple scores. Jaden Swain got a couple rushing touchdowns. And Marvin Sanders got 9 carries for 10 yards and 4 touchdowns. That is definitely our power back. Redshirt freshman receiver Jabari Yabo ends up leading our team in receiving yards with 934 and 14 touchdowns. Zamir Rowe got 7 touchdowns. Lyle Shermer came away with 5. Both of these guys led our team in receptions. They each came away with 46. Now, Lyle Shermer a couple years ago was a 1,000-yard receiver, but with the emergence of other receivers on the team, he's definitely taken a step back, but he is only a junior, so we should get him back next season. Tony Livingston, 27 catches, 319 yards, and a single touchdown for our tight end, and Jaden Swain even caught a touchdown. and I believe that was in the final game that we just played in this episode. Over on defense, Carl Wicks ends up leading our team in tackles with 79. I'm really surprised it was not Jaden Bethea. And then in sacks, we already saw George Sambrelo led our team with 15 on that. And interceptions, redshirt freshman Chauncey Pack came away with 3 on the season. Greg Morris got 2, and Devontae Mappa got 1. But Pack does have an elite dev trait, so hopefully in the offseason he takes a decent jump for us. We ended up kicking a lot more field goals than last season, and I still only missed 3. Sean Augustine ends up going 22 of 25 this year. And we also ended up punting the ball just a little bit less. Last season, Ty McSwain had 74 punts. This year, he only had 68. And the most punts on the year ends up going to Navy, who had to punt the ball 88 times. The most accurate kicker this year that actually had a decent amount, because Trey Sermon here at Florida Atlantic did go 6 for 6. But Bryce Keating went 23 of 23 at Utah, and Bryce Gaylor went 20 of 20 at Rice. So apparently just having Bryce as your kicker's name is a pretty solid choice. And just because I was curious as to who had to kick the most extra points this year, of course it's the kicker at Ole Miss, because apparently that offense was completely stacked. Alright, we're going to have to go look at some stats to see why Zach Boyd did not win the Heisman. It went to DJ Lagway, but Zach Boyd led the nation in passing yards with 4,400, had 58 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. Leading the nation in interceptions is Mason Cumbie at Buffalo. Obviously never want to be part of that. Who was the most accurate quarterback that threw a decent amount of passes? It was the quarterback at Toledo, who had a 73% completion percentage. Aside from the fact that Florida went undefeated in the regular season, I don't see any reason to give DJ Lagway the award over Zach Boyd. Only 3,500 passing yards, 38 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. And then rushing, he only ran for another 4, so it's not like he had a crazy year on the ground either. Yeah, I definitely would have given that to Zach Boyd. But in this scenario, I am sure Ole Miss fans would be fine with getting screwed out of a Heisman Trophy as long as they had an offense that looked like this and they ended up winning a national championship. But anyway, moving on to the other stats, Elijah Davis ends up leading the nation in rushing yards with over 1,200. Touchdowns is a tie between a running back at Georgia and a running back at Jacksonville State. The most fumbles goes to a running back at Texas State, and the most broken tackles goes to, it's actually a tie between the running back at Tulsa and the running back at USC. I am positive that Ole Miss is about to dominate this category. Noreel White leads the nation in receptions with 87. In yards, it's also going to be White, and in touchdowns, it's also going to be White. So yeah, this guy just dominated every single category here. But we do have another guy with 20 touchdowns. That is Keelan Smith at Nebraska. And yards, no one's even really close to him. What about receptions? And then Micah Bell has 84. It is 87. But yeah, Noreel White, easily the best receiver this year. Leading the nation in tackles goes to a linebacker over at Colorado, and sacks, we obviously know George Sambrelo got 15. I still don't know why it doesn't show all of those. And then interceptions goes to an outside linebacker at Boise who got 7, and a corner at Cal who also came away with 7. Alright, but now all of that is out of the way, so it is time to jump to the next week and see who is leaving us. Because it does look like Jamie Truman actually wants to leave here. He's a redshirt junior going into his redshirt senior year, and we may end up losing him. But the main thing I want to point out here is we are now a 3-star team on Team Prestige. So, you know, obviously that means more recruiting for us. And he is going to try to leave. So we are going to attempt to persuade him. Apparently it's because of the playing style. Persuasion chance is low. Can we get him back? No, we cannot. So Jamie Truman will be entering the transfer portal, which does suck. But moving on from that, we're losing a lot of talent on this team. Stephylan Green is gone. That's an 86 overall. Johnny Williams IV, an 85 overall left tackle. Tony Livingston, an 83 overall tight end. An 83 overall middle linebacker in Jaden Bethea. 81 overall outside linebacker in Marco Godwin. An 81 overall center in Darren Booker. An 81 overall receiver in Zamir Rowe. We already know about Truman leaving. An 80 overall right guard. A 79 overall running back in Marvin Sanders. Cam Toon, a 79 overall defensive tackle. A 79 overall safety in Carl Valentine. A 77 overall receiver in John Hart. A 76 overall running back in Jaden Swain, and a 69 overall tight end in Dion Earl. So that is everyone we are losing this offseason. And I'm honestly kind of surprised that guys like Stephylan Green and Johnny Williams did not get drafted, but I guess they did not. I don't know if it still is like NCAA 14 where it went off their sizes or whatever, but they were an 86 and an 85 overall. So still the only player I believe we have gotten drafted is running back Dylan Turner a couple years ago. Now, before I actually jump into the transfer portal and try to get some more talent added to this team, I want to go over the guys we already have committed. The first guy is going to be 3-star quarterback Frederick Rashid, 96 throw power, 87 short accuracy, 80 medium accuracy. I cannot see his deep accuracy, which is a little bit concerning, and a lot of times with these scrambler quarterbacks, it's not great, so hopefully it's not just insanely low. I then got us a couple new running backs, starting with Esteban Criselius. I think I said your name right, that almost sounds like a Pokemon. But either way, he is going to be a 3-star back coming in with 91 speed. And then we have Marco Gee, a 4-star back with 91 speed, 92 acceleration, 90 agility. He should hopefully develop for us. Moving on to receivers, we have a 3-star receiver and wide receiver Barry Wolf, who will come in with 93 speed. Then we have James Chancey, who only has 88 speed, but is a gem prospect, so I'm really hoping he can develop into something really good for us. And then we have a 4-star gem receiver and LaRon Way coming in with 94 speed, 91 acceleration. Already has the shifty ability. He should be an absolute weapon. So far in this offseason, I have only added 2 offensive linemen to our team. We start with right tackle, 3-star gem prospect Leo McCutcheon, and then at offensive guard, we added another gem prospect that's a 3-star in Deron Best. Now moving over to the defensive side of the ball, Larry Kenyon, a 3-star defensive end. This is the only guy I brought in along the defensive line as of right now. But we did bring in a couple new outside linebackers, starting with 3-star Logan Parmel, who we just got, I believe, in the last episode, and then another 3-star in Demario Scooby. We're going to be sticking with their linebacker unit, and Tommy Jewell, a 3-star middle linebacker, will be joining us. And then 4-star linebacker George Ragnow will also be coming here, and I'm really excited to see what he can do. And then there are 2 corners I added this year, starting with Traylon Little, who has 90 speed and 71 man coverage. And then we have Sheriff Denbo, who is a 3-star gem prospect, 77 man coverage, but 95 speed. He's 6 foot, 171 pounds. Another guy that I'm really going to hope can develop into something. Eventually, one of these guys may be moving over to strong safety, but for right now, we brought in 2 new free safeties, starting with Tavarius Eason, a 4-star prospect, and then Nolan Pounds, a 4-star gem prospect, but we also brought in a strong safety in Eric Manuel. But that is everyone we have added so far to this team, and now I get to go into the transfer portal and try to get a little bit more talent. Well, maybe we're not going to be adding a lot of talent here because there are currently no 5-star prospects. There are hardly any ever in the transfer portal. But out of all of the 4-star prospects, none of them want to come here. And then with the 3-star prospects, there are only a couple that want to come here. Mostly everybody that wants to transfer here is like 1 or 2 stars. Fortunately, whenever I look through the roster, there are not any really glaring holes, so I guess it's kind of okay that no one really wants to come here through the portal. I have added both of those receivers though. Jimmy Branham has 93 speed, 95 acceleration, and then Clarence Rasmussen has 94 speed, so I think I could probably use both of these guys, or at least they're going to be solid depth for us. But I also found a freshman in Elijah Butts that I want to bring in, 92 speed, 90 acceleration, so yeah, another running back in this class, and then a fullback in Elijah Freeze, at least I think I'm saying your name right, a 3-star gem prospect. So those are the only 4 guys I'm really going to try to add here right now. And just a couple weeks later, we end up landing Rasmussen at wide receiver, and we get Jimmy Branham at wide receiver, but we don't get the other 2 guys just yet, and since they're freshmen, they may not end up committing until like the very last stage. And yeah, now that I'm here actually at the final stage, we are still really the only ones going after them. I guess Navy has kind of joined in to get this fullback, but they really have no chance to get him, so we should get these final 2 guys. And there it is, we officially land both of them. I know it said that Elijah, or the other Elijah, did not realize that both of them had the name Elijah. I somehow missed that one. But yeah, it shows that he is in his top 3, but he also has committed because just recruiting's over, so he's automatically on the team. And now let's figure out on National Signing Day where we landed in all of the recruits. At one point, we were the 13th ranked class. I did not think that was actually going to stick around. We ended up falling all the way down to 27. But in the CUSA, we are far and away the highest rated class. We were the only, actually, I was going to say we were the only one to land some 4 stars, but no, it looks like Liberty only landed 7 recruits, but 4 of them are 4 stars. And then the only position change we have here should be this quarterback, Frederick Rashid. He is a 72 overall quarterback and not really good at anything else, so yeah, that's where you're going. And now it is time for training results. Let's see how much better everyone got on the team. I still really wish they would rework the way this looks. I really liked in NCAA 14 where it told you how much better everyone got rather than just green arrows to show, hey, they got better, but it didn't show you how much. I may be reevaluating the quarterback position again going into the next season because Everly got a decent jump here up to an 86 overall. He is better with short accuracy, not as good with medium, but he is a lot better with deep accuracy and a lot better with throw on the run and under pressure. A little bit better on break sack, but play action, Sidney Mock still really has that. So yeah, I don't really see any major jumps here. It looks like Nathan Tuttle may end up being a really solid quarterback for us. But yeah, we'll have to decide between these two, once again, who is going to be our starting quarterback. It doesn't really look like there was any massive jump at running back either, just everyone got a little bit better. Skylar Lewis is still rated as our best one. Now, this was a decent jump for Jabari Yabo. Last season, he was only like a 78 overall, I think. So now he's all the way up to an 84 overall and the best receiver on our team. So we should be using him quite a bit this season. No crazy jump here at tight end either. It looks like Casey Nkum or Lamar Komar. One of those two will most likely be our starter. Tyler Angel is up to an 87 overall left tackle. Left guard is a 90 overall in Deion Henry. Center is an 87. Right guard is going to be a 91 in Kyle Adams. And right tackle will be an 87 in Jacques Leota. George Sambrelo got just a little bit better, up to an 87 overall. Samuel Reddy Jr. up to an 85. At right end, we have Brett Wilkes, who is now past Emmett Wall. We'll have to see what the block shedding is on this, because I think that was the reason. Never mind, his block shedding is a lot higher. And Tyler Stepniak is up to a 95 block shed, but still only a 78 overall, so he'll probably just sit on the bench this year. But Brett Wilkes may be our starting defensive end. I was a little bit concerned about defensive tackle until I saw this. Darryl Judge just took a massive jump here and is up to an 87 block shed and then an 82 play rec. Him, Howden, and Taven Wade may be a really, really good defensive tackle unit. Outside linebacker, nothing crazy. Wes Spears up to an 86 and Eric Free is up to an 84. I was really, really hoping for a much bigger jump from Owen Hollings. So Steven may end up getting the start. Hollings is faster, but Stevens has higher awareness, play rec, tackle, not hit power, but better block shedding as well. I don't know. I'll have to make a decision on that one. Over at right outside linebacker, John Brink is up to an 80 overall as a redshirt senior, but redshirt freshman Deshaun Mangold has come up as an 80 overall as well, and their ratings are actually really close. And I was really hoping for a much bigger jump from some of these guys, but it looks like Greg Morris is up to a 91, Lyle Bowe is an 88, Peter Torrance is an 86, Chauncey Pack is going to be an 86 as well, and then an 81 for Marquise Westbrook and a 71 for Garrison Cohen. At free safety, Devontae Mappa goes up to an 82, and Jerron Carson goes up to an 80. And strong safety, Calvin Casey is now most likely going to be our starter. I believe Carl Wicks was higher rated last season, but now looks like Casey is the higher rated guy. So, I don't really know what I'm going to do just yet. Zone coverage, though, there is a massive difference there. We'll have to make that decision, obviously, before the season starts. It looks like our kicker stayed the exact same at an 83 overall, and our punter is up to a 77. Now, I will say, I believe he was a 69 overall, so he got quite a bit better. But that is now this team's ratings. We currently have 3 guys at least a 90 overall, and 2 of them are offensive linemen, which you always love to see. Now, unfortunately, I do have to kick 7 people off this team. I don't think it's going to be super hard to find them, though. We are going to start with redshirt freshman DeMarco Wicks, only a 67 overall. I really don't see you developing into anything, so you are gone. The next guy that's getting cut is a redshirt senior tight end in Ben Rhodes, a 66 overall with 77 speed. Yeah, you're not making the team. The next player to get cut is going to be Avery Brutus, a 70 overall right tackle that's a redshirt freshman. There are 2 redshirt freshmen above him on the depth chart, so yeah, he's gone. We're going to circle back around to receiver here, and wide receiver Max Evanson will also be getting cut. Another redshirt freshman getting kicked off the team is Brian Carlisle, and the main reason is because he has 59 awareness. These 2 guys are the same overall, but with that 59 awareness, that is just awful. Redshirt senior Lonnie Dunbar is also going to be getting cut because he's a 75 overall. He is not going to find the field here. I know this one might be a little bit weird, but defensive end Maurice Davis, he's an 80 overall as a redshirt senior. He only has 66 block shedding. Jesus Anelli is behind him. Now, Anelli does have an elite dev trait, so he may still get a little bit better, but Davis is probably at his limit, so we're going to go ahead and cut him and let Anelli try to find the field a bit more. And I honestly considered switching conferences this year, but we're not going to be doing it this season. We may do it after the next season, depending how this year goes. As we take a look to see what our schedule is going to look like this upcoming season, we do come into this year as the preseason number 20. But moving on from that, we will start the season with a home game against Duke, and then on the road at SMU, a home game against Oklahoma. We beat them last year in Norman. Now they want to come to our stadium and take us out after going 4-8 last year. And then at Oklahoma State for our next game, and then a bye week. Then we get into conference play where we have a home game against Sam Houston. We are at Mid-Tennessee State, a home game against UTEP, and then Louisiana Tech. At Liberty, a home game against Jacksonville State, and then at FIU and at New Mexico State. But now, in between episodes, I will go through and set up the recruiting board and the depth chart and change numbers and all sorts of other stuff that I will go over in the next episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you next time when we kick off Season 5.